Well, I wouldn't have been too happy about it as if I had to go and watch women's footy on the weekend. I know you two are big supporters of this, but I was talking to an AFL, a club official at the ground on Sunday.
Right, so it's a Richmond official, all right.
You worked that out pretty quick.
Okay.
They reckon it's going to cost them $1 million for the 4 games. Is that right? Is that a good
Well, I'll tell you.
spend?
So can I put it to you? And I'm not.
I wouldn't cross the road to watch it.
Okay, that's fine. But I'll tell you what is happening is that memberships everywhere are up. Collingwood now has 50-50 memberships with women. You will never get $1 of government money for any infrastructure build unless you've got female sports now involved. I've just done a deal which will be announced in the next couple of months. We at Collingwood, Mark Anderson, our CEO, and Damien McDowell have done a fantastic job. And the key part of that was the women's sports. In our club,
so governments are shaming you into supporting women's football so that you can get infrastructure.
No, because what happens is the way to go forward is the numbers are there, Steve.
Well, let me talk about
junior,
the numbers.
Well, you
I want
can
to ask
go
Pricey on this. So how many girls do you reckon currently play football, Pricey?
Let's play a numbers game. How many went to the Dockers Saints game?
You don't answer a question with another question.
RSEA Park, wherever that might be. Where is RSEA Park?
Moorabbin.
Righto.
Which has been rebuilt for the St Kilda Football Club.
They sold it out on the first night, Pricey.
No, they didn't sell anything. It was free.
They
filled it up. They had to go 3 times.
You fall into the trap, Luke, of saying they sold it out.
They had to go down 3 times to refill the fridges with drinks and
closed
things.
How
the gates
much
on
were the
first
tickets?
Opening night. Okay, they're not charging people yet, but they're building this in its first couple.
How many people would you get if they charged?
Well, it depends what you charge, but here's what you're charging. No, but Steve, you got this. Let's go. You've got to expand your mind on these things. So what happens now is, I'm a good example. Right, use me as an example. My father's Scottish, my mum's Irish. They land in Australia. I've got no idea. First time my dad went to a football game, he thought he was going to a soccer match. He thought they hadn't put the goals out, but they got the flagpoles up and wondered how many people were running and thought there was 2 games on. Within 5 minutes, we fall in love with football. Our family goes like that, right? Because I played junior football, didn't play senior footy, didn't play AFL, and now so many young girls are getting into the game.
Great.
But answer my question. How many girls do you reckon play
footy? They all watch the TV.
500,000?
They all watch the TV.
You're actually 530,166
I know that.
as
I'm
of
not
last.
being...
That's 32% of all participants
I love
in the game
female sport.
are female now, Pricey. So
I
if
love
you don't
female
give a pathway,
sport. I love female
and
sport.
you've got to build these things
but
over
the
time,
amount of money
Pricey.
we're ploughing into this is ridiculous.
The AFL have got tons of
I
money,
love
Pricey.
watching female
It's
sport.
where we should put the money into
Name
the
one
game.
woman in the top 10 in women's golf.
Minjie Lee.
Ooh, you had to dig deep for
No,
that.
I was waiting for Das to ever go there. But
He had
going to
no
say
idea.
Minjie as
Australia girl, she's sensational.
I was going to say Minjie Lee as well.
That's
Laura,
it.
what was her name?
Carrie
Day,
Webb,
she-
you
Laura
would
Davis,
say.
yeah, the great Laura Davis. What was your point with that?
Well, I support women's sport. I like watching. I like watching women's golf because their swing's so pure. But
Yeah,
I
it is,
wouldn't
yeah.
pay a ticket to go inside a course and watch them play.
Well, I go and watch the women's footy whenever I can, and if I can't, I watch it on the TV.
You
and
do not.
I
Mark
do
Robinson
so.
in the Herald Sun today has written a column saying we should scrap the Marsh series, not have any pre-season games between AFL clubs, and put more promotion into women's footy.
And that may turbocharge the women's game. It's probably not, necessarily the point of view
Tell
I
that
would
to the
share.
8,000 people who will Wangaratta on the
I think
weekend.
you can do both.
I reckon if you threw the lines open now, more people would support my view. I know we haven't got time. Would support my view on women's football than yours.
Because they need to be educated, a bit like you, Pricey. We
like
need
the,
to get
like the
more...
glassmongers down here.
All I know,
What do you reckon they would be doing?
well, all I know, and I'm on the front line of this, is yes, we have invested probably $1 million a year at Collingwood, and we are a mile in front because of our women's
You
program.
need to get down and watch Pricey an under 13 girls game. It's as pure a sport as you will see. It's sensational, and we're building something special.
And it's making the game a fortune. It's spreading it. In fact, the money we're spending in the goal, we'll take or stay with us after 8 o'clock.
Steve
We'll
has
do this
no
as
idea
trending.
as the first call comes through.
We'll get it up.
Might
But
be Luke from Hawthorn.
But when you look up at what's going on in the Gold Coast, right, we're talking about the money being spent on the Gold Coast Suns. Is that a waste of money? $27 million?
Yes.
That's where the TV rights will be. That Gold Coast area has more people than South Australia, West Australia, Tasmania, and the Northern
It's a
Territory
graveyard
combined.
for rugby league, rugby, and AFL.
That's why when you win big up there.
All right.
And you know what's leading the charge? The women's footy.
Let's take one call. Shane from Trugger 9, you heard Pricey's view on women's footy. What do you think?
I think it's got to start somewhere, and this guy, Steve, seriously, you got to start women's football somewhere, and people will catch on, people will take a chance, and you know what, you're a goose.
Simple question, Shane. Would you pay full tote odds to go and watch a women's game of football? Yes or no?
Yes, I would.
You're a liar.
You're a liar, says
Give Shane
Pricey.
another go.
Yeah,
Keep going, Shane.
you're a goose. I would watch women's football and I would go to see it. It's about the sport. If you're an AFL fan, so they don't kick it as long. They don't, tackle as hard.
Well,
but
they do.
it's a women's sport. You know, like it's the same. It's the same game. It's something to watch. You know, my team don't have a women's team yet, but I hope they get one because, it's something that'll take off if people actually, support it.
Who do you
Who's your
vote for,
team,
Shane?
Shane?
Yeah.
I go for the Bombers.
Yeah,
okay.
well, no wonder you want to go and watch women's football.
He's feisty this morning.
Hey, Shane,
Let me say this: the
Prize
teams
for you.
The
Hang on the
teams
line.
that thought they were smart early doors and said, no, we don't want to be in this, and
They
are
are
climbing
falling
over themselves and trying to get on.
Absolutely.
Now, don't be selective about the calls.
All right, we'll put Phil from Geelong on. Here we go.
Thank you, Phil.
Here we go, Phil.
There you go.
Good.
Go ahead, Phil.
Oh, sorry, boys. So, yeah, I think Price is 100% right. And I think it's nice to see someone with the courage to actually speak out against the modern trend.
No doubt he's got courage, taking on a truck driver.
And-
in front
and
of our
chicks.
studio.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hang on.
Courage.
So, Phil, what's your point of view on this? Why do you think it's a waste of time and money?
I don't think it's a waste of time, but he's not wrong when he says that people aren't going to pay full price to go and see it.
But Phil, it's
Don't have
3
to.
years in the incarnate. The AFL took 140 years to build to where it is at this stage. You've got to give these things time.
But Phil does make
Yeah.
a very good point. There's a lot of people who are unwilling to say what I've said this morning because it's not seen as politically correct.
No, or
or
and
it's just not
you
correct.
get your head. What?
It's just not educated. That's the other alternative view, Steve.
We all have
We-
different
we
points
do,
of view.
Yeah,
Luke.
some are in a cave and some
Mine's
have
right, yours
emerged
is
out of it.
wrong.
But if you do slam those together and we actually look at some of the issues that are there, and the injuries obviously a big one at the moment, then we can progress. We do have to question ourselves on these
32%
situations.
of all people playing
I love it.
our game and our female. What an amazing story that
and
is.
I reckon it has absolutely made football so much money in the last 3 years. Seriously, you would not know how much money it has helped as far as infrastructure is concerned. And instead of, I'll tell you what, the other thing, just to finish on, my boys have gone through the junior football. You're right in at the moment, Das. You go out to the same grounds that I played on, and Finnegan, my jockstrap's still in the corner. It hasn't changed in 30, 40 years. And the only way we're going to get new facilities now is because of the demand that is required because of the girls coming through. It's going to be just an absolute revolution for our game. It's the next stage.